One. Hey y'all, it's your favorite black ass cousin, and y'all already know how I'm doing it up for the new year, baby. It is 2021, so we coming with nothing but that dope energy, dope vibes with some really dope creatives that's really gonna give us all that we need. Because, like I said, this year is about what? Abundance, ascension, and elevation. So, of course, the best way to get that is to surround yourself with people who are already there. You are who you are who you spend the most time around. So personally, I'm trying to be around nothing but some bosses. And I'm so excited because y'all, we got a new cousin from Mississippi, y'all. Y'all know how I love an accent, but he is such a boss, a true CEO. Let me just say a little bit about it, okay? He's an author. He's an educator. Okay, business owner. You know what? My daddy always told me, let a man speak his own accolades. So I'm gonna just go ahead and introduce y'all to our new cousin. Hey, Terrance.
Hey, Monica, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. I love everything that you have going on. It's such an inspiration. And I always love to see Black men just in position of powers. Like I'm always like, yes. So I'm super excited just to hear all about your journey. So tell everybody just your name, where you're from, and just go over all of your businesses.
Okay. Well, I'm Terrance Bonner. I am from Mississippi. I'm 36, and I am in the wellness industry. I am a licensed massage therapist and esthetician. I've been in the business for 10 years. In April, it'll be 6 years that I've had my business, and the journey has been amazing. It has not been easy, but it's been amazing journey, especially in a female-based field. A male coming in a female driven industry, it was very, very hard. So I had to, quickly find my niche and, to find my way, find my own lane to success.
I love that because you have definitely found your lane and been killing it. So he is the owner of the Glam Station and Spa, and he's being modest, y'all. They've served over 10,000 clients, 13-time award winning. Okay. They can do everything from massage, like he said, skincare. Y'all, they even doing the yoni steams and lashes. So you can literally go in there and just get your whole body redone and not like the really get it, the wellness redone. But I definitely love that. What inspired you? Because like you said, it's not a lot of Black men in the field. Even though I don't really subscribe to that, I think that business is business, and if you are smart at what you do, if you are motivated like you definitely are, I don't see anything wrong with it. But I would definitely love for you to share like what inspired you to get to start the spa and get in that field.
So initially, I was introduced to it in high school. I was in the 12th grade. Of course, we're trying to figure out where you want to go, college or career school. And we had a recruiter come from a school, and massage therapy was one of the choices. And it stood out to me first because I was like, oh, they make a lot of money. So I was like, whoa, I think I want to do that. But I have always been the type growing up, watching my parents, just watching. I talk about in my book at 5 years old, Ms. Rosie, she kept me. But I've always, been around people who cared for people. And so therefore it was kind of instilled in me. So I love helping people. So this was my way of my journey of helping people. So many people's like, oh, you should have become a nurse, or you should have did this. I was like, well, that's for that person or those people, but this is my lane and what I want to do. It was definitely a calling. And initially I did not go. I told my parents what I wanted to do, and
how did they receive that?
Well, in the beginning, they just said, okay. But once the recruiter came out to my house, she began to explain the other opportunities that they had, other classes that they had at the school. And so when my parents heard the different things, it was 2004. And so they heard computers. So their generation was like, we don't know what massage is, but we know computers is a big thing right now. So they was like, you should do computers. They're my parents. So I listened to my parents.
Yeah.
And so I went to school for graphic design and animation. Needless to say, I did not finish because it was not what I wanted to do. I came back second attempt, which was right after Hurricane Katrina. I'm in Mississippi, so about 4 hours I'll be on the coast.
Right.
So I found a school on the coast. My second attempt, I had enrolled in school, but once I went and started looking for places to stay, apartments, $800,000, $900,000 for one bedroom, because it was right after Hurricane Katrina. I was like, I can't pay for that and go to school too.
Right.
So I had to go back to school and withdraw. I had to withdraw from school because I couldn't, I couldn't do that and go to school. And I started working at KFC when I was 15 years old. And so I just went back to KFC. My mom was the manager, so I worked with my mom there, starting at 15. I was there in all 12 years. And the story behind that is crazy. But I went back, and it's like, years went by. I'm just like, I really want to do massage.
Right.
And so, long story short, it took me 3 tries to finally do it. So finally, in 2009, I was kind of pushed. Somebody came in and said something to me that really just pushed me and propelled me into, okay, you need to pick yourself up, because you're not going to be here. She came in and said, she saw something was wrong. And what she said to me was, I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm not going to be here the rest of my life. I'm just ready for a change. And the next word she said to me was, she said, oh, you'll be here. You're not going anywhere. And so that lit a fire under me. When she said that to me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you.
I know that's
So,
right.
so that's what I did. I got on Google, started Googling. I found a school that was an hour away from me, in Tupelo. And I sent an email. I said, hey, I'm very interested in your program. Can you send me information? He sent me like a catalog about the school. And in February of 2010, I began school. In November, I was graduating. And
Wow.
the rest is history. But it was, it took me 6 years, 3 tries to finally do it. And that's something I say, to your listeners, is like, don't feel like, you get out of high school or just like you're just going to go straight into what you want to do. Sometimes it takes time to really find what you truly want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one thing that I love, that you're so transparent about it. I think right now, especially in this climate, everything is about the highlight reel. Everybody want to show the beauty, the glitz and the glam. But it's like, I get that, because it's kind of just who we are now. It's like social media, you want to make sure your Instagram have, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that your journey really does consist of you. You, like you said, you was at KFC to ABC, honey. Because again, Terrance is being very modest, y'all, but they have literally been featured on NBC, ABC, Fox, and CBS. Like literally the best esthetician from 2015, 2016, 2018. Again, he gonna get it again in 2021. Like, we gonna claim that for you, my brother. But I really, really love that. Because like I said, I don't think that we get to hear that side of the journey often. And I think that, like I said, because you are so resilient and you are so determined, because you said you're like, I was going back. And I love that as well, because you can get in life, you'll hit things and it'll be like, oh, that ain't for me. But I love that you were so focused to keep going. And I would hope to think that that determination and that resiliency inspired you to then want to help others, because in addition to the award-winning spa, y'all, he also has the Bonner Institute. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to want to give back and really teach other entrepreneurs and business owners how to reach that same level of success.
So throughout my career, people ask me questions all the time, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? So even when I was in massage school, I had a pretty much like an epiphany of, I literally was in school. My teacher was walking around teaching, and I literally was like, I see myself doing this. I see myself teaching. And 8 years later, even though I started teaching continuing education for massage therapists, estheticians, because for massage therapists, we do have to do continuing education classes. So I started doing that first. But then in 2018, I began to teach in a school to where it was, potential massage therapists.
Right.
And so I literally was sitting in class and I was like, I saw this 8 years ago
Mm,
in class. I saw myself teaching 8 years ago. And I said, I can do this. I can do this. And so I literally was balling. I was teaching a business portion to my students at the time. I think it was about 8 people in the class. And I'm literally talking. I said, y'all, I'm so sorry. And I just started balling because it was like I had a flashback. Just like I literally said this 8 years ago that I was going to be doing this. And here it is 8 years later. And I'm sitting in the classroom and students are looking at me now.
right. That's that power of intentional thinking and
Yeah.
manifestation. Absolutely.
And so at that time, that's when it began. It's like because in a school, I mean, being honest, people think you're supposed to learn so much in school, whether it's hair school, aesthetic school, nail school.
Mm,
In school, we teach you to pass your board exam. We may teach you a little bit more or a little advanced this, but you really get out in the field, and that's when you really go take different class stuff like that. But
right.
we just teach the basics pretty
Yeah.
much, and if we have time, we're able to teach a little bit more.
Mm,
And so I really start digging into this is so much needed. Even business, like we teach business in school, but it's like that. It's so quick. And
right.
so it's so much stuff to give and to put out there. It's only so much the brain can hold and grasp.
Yeah.
And so
And
I was
I'm
like,
glad that you mentioned that too, because one thing I guess just as a black woman, and I mean just as black people,
mhm,
where does there come a part where, because I mean, of course, like you said, you learn the board things initially, but the thing that I love about black ownership in the wellness industry is y'all know our skin because y'all have
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And like everything ain't for everybody. So I definitely love that. Like you said, like you do have to learn the basics, but I think that there does come a point where you kind of also have to put that emphasis on your client as well. So with teaching your students, is that something that you kind of incorporated, um or was that something you kind of do kind of just in your shop? How do you, because I mean, I know there has to be a fine line with that. So how do you kind of balance the two?
balance the two as far as
Teaching
teaching.
what the board requires, but
Mhm.
also teaching what is needed for the clients.
Got it. So but the good thing about it is, which is something that you need in an requirement that the board um, requires, is that you have to be, so long in the field before you can come back and teach. Because you
Okay.
do have some people that feel like they can get out of school and go back and try to teach, but it's like you haven't had any hands on in the field really.
Right.
So for me, for massage, it was three. Like we had to be in the industry for at least 3 years before we can turn around and teach.
Gotcha.
I began 4 years in, and I started teaching, like I said, continuing education. But it was 8 years in before I began teaching in a school as an instructor.
Gotcha.
So for me, it was like I've been doing this for 8 years now, so I see and know um, what the client wants, different scenarios that I had to go through. And, it's different things that you'll go through as a therapist, as a massage therapist, as an esthetician, nail tech, or, in this field that, handle it this way or handle it that way. Or, some people are just, they're just hot headed. And it's like, oh, I would have did this. And I was like,
Yeah.
but you have to realize you are the professional. You always should keep it professional from morning to night. You should keep it professional no matter what,
Absolutely.
to show that you are the authority at that point. But just because somebody said something wrong or they said this, you still answer them in a professional way. So for me and for other instructors, because we've been in the field and hands-on with it, we can go in a different approach of, okay, this is what the board says, but hey, somebody can throw a wrench out there, and this is how I handle this particular situation, because of course I've been in the industry doing it too. So it's not just oh yeah, I went to school and I just coming back to instruction and I'm not in the field. I'm still in the field, and in my 8 years, I've seen some things. You know, when you
Oh,
have somebody
I'm
come in
sure.
and they have that perverted spirit, I'll say, you
I'm
know, this is
sure.
how, you know, how to handle that situation. You know, let's be real. You know, let's talk about real things that you are going to see. It's not you might see in this profession. You're going to at least one time have some type of experience to where you're going to feel so uncomfortable.
Right.
And so let's talk about it so you know how to handle that when it does arise, versus like we didn't even talk about that too. I didn't know what to do. No, let's talk about it. You're gonna have a male or even sometimes a female come in and they're gonna make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so because I've been through that as as a professional. Now I can go and teach that to say, hey, in that situation, keep your cool. Don't just jump off the handle and maybe cuss them out or anything like that. Keep your cool. Still get your money. But
Right.
keep your keep your cool and handle the situation professionally versus just going off the handle, because again, you are professional, you are licensed, and handle it professionally. So
Yeah.
if I was just somebody off the street and just maybe had a degree and coming in, I don't know those scenarios because I wasn't necessarily in the field. But because I've been in the field, I can come in and give those different types of scenarios and give you a positive way to look at it, to be professional. Because again, at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing for me: customer service and being professional. No matter if they piss you off, because sometimes it's just like, Lord, my blood pressure has went up here. But
Right.
it
Please
go
take
it,
it down.
it goes there. But you have to say, okay, let me bring it back down, and okay, ma'am, sir, we'll proceed to do whatever. But keeping it professional. But you know being in the industry and then going back and teaching, that's how kind of balancing see it, and going through the things myself, like I said, going through personal things of having unprofessional clients or different situations that happen, and again, having the professional. So now in a instructor setting in a school, I can say, hey, you might have this scenario, this will happen to me, so when it arises for you, you know how to handle it, versus like, man, I wish we would have went over this in school, I don't even know how to handle it. Some people just kind of close down. But when you went through that, and it's because somebody else went through it, and it may be 2 or 3 years after you get out of school, but it's like, man, my instructor told me about that, and I know how to handle it mentally. It's like sometimes you might have to walk away, but because you've already been through it and kind of walked through it, it's like, hey, it just comes as second nature.
And I think that that's so important because, like you said, that's kind of that foundation of
Mm-hmm.
once you put in the work and
Right.
and like you said, years or months later, they can reference back to something that you've taught them.
Yes.
Truly, truly core values, which is I love the name of your book because
Thank you.
listen, so in addition to all of these great things, Terrance just dropped a book, y'all, and I love it. It's a business building guidebook for new wellness entrepreneurs. So, for one, how is that for you? How does it feel for it to be out? You going into the new year with the new venture? Like, how does it feel?
It feels amazing. It still feels surreal. It still feels surreal. It almost has me speechless, because
Yeah.
when you work on something for a while and you prayed about it, and it's like it finally is here. It's like, man, I was just thinking about that. Just even with the business, it was like, man, this is what I want. It woke me up out of my sleep one night. And
Mm,
I mean, when I tell you, it was like I wasn't even asleep. I jumped up as if, I mean, I just, like, oh my
yeah.
God, because it was so strong on my mind. And so, um, writing the book, and, throughout the years, people asking different questions, like people really, and then too, being in a pandemic. I started writing in the pandemic, and I saw how if you did not have your business set up correctly, you could
Mhm.
not get assistance.
Very true.
Each different entity had different ways of different information they wanted, but at the end of the day, you had to have your business set up correctly. And so I drew from that too. So I
Mhm.
was like, especially for us, for people that look like me, most times so many people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a business, and it's not set up correctly. It's just like, I got a business, but you have an EIN number. Are you operating from a business account and not from your personal account?
Right.
So it's so many different things. I was like, do you even know the difference between a sole proprietor LLC or a corporation? Do you know those different things for your business? Because everybody's different. I started out with the LLC because it was just me. But once I began to have employees, I was like, okay, talking to back and forth with my accountant, S corporation was better for me because of tax purposes. I would get a better tax break. But if you don't know these things, somebody would have just stayed as an LLC versus switching over to something else that would have bettered them in their business. So I wanted to, again, even though it is targeted to wellness, because of course that's what I do, but it's for any entrepreneur. Any
And
entrepreneur.
I love that. So I see it has some workbook pages included. So just tell us a little bit more of some of the things that they could look forward to in the book, because it definitely sounds like a wealth of information, but also some things that like challenge people. And I like that, because sometimes you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
So
Yeah.
what else
So
can we look forward to?
so it definitely challenged you, and that's something I wanted. I didn't want to just write a book and say, oh, okay, well here it is, but it challenged you to really think, because it's your business. Every business is going to be different. It's going to be separate. You have to make sure this is right for you. And the very first thing I talk about are the core values, because for me, determination. I at 4 and 5 years old, faith at 4 years old, me and my mom always being hit by a train. I found faith. And then at 5 years old, walking from one side of the town to the other side of the town at 5 years old by myself, because I was taken from my babysitter, and I was like, okay, this new babysitter is not it. She cannot cook, all of these things. And I was like, I want my chicken and dumpling from Miss Rosie, because
All right.
that's my favorite food. But I was determined at 5 years old to get back to her, because that's who I was comfortable with. So I developed some of my core values at a very early age, and most people have too, but they haven't tapped into it and realized that, hey, I was doing that at 6 years old or 7 years old. And a lot of people ask me, it's like, how do you remember that? And I feel like, because I won't say it was traumatic. 4 years old was traumatic. I was being hit by a train. But I think it was just something, again, it was just that foundation for me.
Right.
And so when I have trials and tribulations and brick walls coming, I just go back to that. Like, okay, once I became a dual licensed massage therapist and esthetician, nobody would hire me. Nobody would hire me, but I knew this was what I was supposed to be doing, and I was not going to give up. So I was determined, and I had faith that I'm going to prove myself right, that this is what is for me. So again, it starts off with core values, and you finding out what yours are. So again, it will be your foundation. So when you do hit a brick wall, if the pandemic happens again, if you just won't give up.
Absolutely.
And everybody, is going to have different core values, but whatever that is for you, you'll fall back to that, and so you can continue on, so you can succeed and be successful in your business. So we start off with that as as a workbook, then going into, are you ready for entrepreneurship? What is entrepreneurship? And so we're going into that of figuring out different scenarios that are right for you, for your business, going into, again, finding your business entity that's right, giving you the pros and cons of sole proprietor, LLC, S corporation, partnership. So it goes into that and explain to you more about it, so you're more familiar and really understand it for yourself. And then too, it's so much in the book. It's so much in the book, and I talk about how the success I've had, but being featured in ABC, NBC, and those different types of magazines and publications, it really helped propel my career. Once I felt like I was plateauing, like, okay, I've done this, I've done that. But once that happened, it really propelled me into, hey, this guy, he's an expert in what he does. And so for you in your business, you can do the same thing, but I show you how to do it yourself. I'm honest in the book and say, hey, I did pay people. I did. But I show you how to do it yourself.
Mhm.
I show you how to do it yourself. So it's so, oh gosh, it's so much in the
It
book. A
sounds
lot of
like such a just wealth of knowledge. And
it
I
is.
know you said that it isn't just for wellness entrepreneurs. You're saying that this could apply to anyone really.
Anyone, because you have to look at it. Everybody has to set their business up. You have to get your EIN.
Right.
You have to figure out how you want your business structured. So that doesn't matter if you are a boutique, a baker, a massage therapist, a whatever. You have to set your business up. So that part, it doesn't matter what you are in your business or what type of business you have. And also, too, even though I may have scenarios of the spa side, just take that out and put your scenario in there, whatever you do. I talk Another big thing I talk about is cost per service, knowing how much it costs to do this, so that you can make a profit and not just you are just making paying your bills and
Right.
not making profit for yourself,
Right.
and establishing how to pay yourself as well. Because even though you're in business, if you're not really paying yourself, it's a hobby, it's not a business.
Hmm. It's
And
a
so
right, and I'm glad you're saying all of this because I think with especially with it being a new year, everyone
mhm,
is like, everybody talking about getting their they little stimulus
yeah,
check or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get
yeah,
my stimulus, I'm gonna get an LLC. But it's like, is that what you should get though? Like, so
right,
I'm so
yeah,
glad that you're giving us that knowledge because I think that a lot of people are motivated right now. They're hungry for something different. 2020 was hard. So it's like 2021 is a new year. People want to reinvent themselves. They want to pour themselves into something. But, Terrance is telling us, right, don't do it unless you're going to do it the proper way because you're going to just lose money and time and resources. Take the time to learn from an expert like Terrance, who has put in the work, has the facts and receipts to prove it,
yeah.
and it's gifting us just this wealth of knowledge in all of this work that you've put into for this book. Like I'm so excited to really see all that's in it. With all that you've accomplished and knowing that you're such an inspiration, what would you say to someone right now who is watching this interview and like, you know what, I do want to do this, or I've been thinking about being an esthetician, or all those things? What would you say to them to just motivate and inspire them right now?
First thing I would say is pray. Definitely lead with prayer so he can guide you in the right direction. And then next, if it's really, if it's nail school, if it's esthetician school, massage school, please research the school, research their track record, see what their pass rate is. Because yeah, you may go to school, but you still have to pass your test. It's a lot of things that people don't realize. They just say, oh, this person with this school, or that this school is close to me, but that school may not be right for you. So go in, ask questions, make sure they're accredited. So those are base things that I would definitely say, do when you're looking for a school, so that you won't just go in and I hate to say this, but I've heard so many stories of people starting school and maybe even days, weeks away from graduating, and the school closed down.
Wow.
The school closed down, and now they're having to scramble of trying to get their records and try to maybe transfer to another school. Hopefully they can pick up where they left off, and yeah, or or some people had to start over, which
Yeah.
is crazy. So that's why I say go in, do your homework. If you feel like this school is right for you, ask questions, ask as many questions as you possibly can. If you feel like it's some negativity to where they don't want to answer your questions, that's a red flag. Because again, if somebody has a school, they should be enthusiastic of you, your new student. You're inquiring about their
Absolutely.
school, their school. This is my school. So yes, what
Yeah.
questions do you have? Let me answer your questions. So that's something I would definitely say to make sure that the school is on up and up. Because just because they say they have a school or school is there doesn't mean that it's being ran correctly.
Right.
So, and that, ask them, what you're going to learn. Do you teach advanced things even in school? And so that's what I would say. Definitely look at the school to make sure that it's a right fit for you, so you won't have any regrets once you kind of start and start paying money and you can't get out of it.
Right, because I know we're in a new year, but it's definitely still a pandemic, so we have to be smart with our time and with our resources. Speaking of, how has it been for y'all with everything that's going on with COVID? I mean, I know for you, you've been able to kind of pivot with your book and everything, but how is business? How is everything?
Everything is good. Excuse me. I'm still in the treatment room. People have asked us like, so you got this book now. So are you even still working? I was like, I'm still working. I still love, having clients coming in for their services. So we're still here. Of course, we're doing everything that the CDC has, suggested us do. We wear masks. Our clients wear masks depending on what services that they have. Different sanitation protocols to make sure they're safe, we're safe. So everything is going okay. At first, when we first came back, it was a little, rough because it was like, whoa, we got to do this and that, incorporate this, making sure we can get enough masks, making sure we can get gloves, and so it was kind of a thing when we first came back, but now we're kind of in the groove of doing it. And I've told clients we took a lot of things for granted. We really did take a lot of things for granted. And one thing I said,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
going, yes, going forward, one thing I said was I was like, I'm probably going to still wear my mask because before this, we were, if we were facial doing massages, we were close on our clients.
Yeah.
So we probably should have been wearing masks before this anyway. So that's something I'm definitely going to continue to do for now and even, in the future. So, but everything's going good. Like I said, we're definitely we were clean before this anyway. A lot of clients told me this. It was like, I'm not worried about you. You were spotless before this, so I know you on point. So that's another thing,
I
people.
mean, yeah, y'all reviews tell that too. Like you can tell that everyone is always super impressed with like you said, the customer service, the service itself, the cleanliness. So that's good. Because you definitely don't want to be worried about, I mean, it's enough to worry about COVID, but it's like right now, all we kind of have to lean on is those moments of just like self-care and because listen, I had
It's
got a
stressful.
couple weeks ago. Now I'm still like, oh, that felt so good. Because just being in the house and working and everything. So definitely know that you are providing a service that is truly helping people get through these tough times. So
Yes.
thank you so much for that. Um, what does Black entrepreneurship mean to you with this entire journey? What does it
For
mean?
me, for me, what it means is that I'm showing other people that look like me, whether it be men, women, boy, girl, that wow, this guy in my community, this guy that I know, this guy that went to church with me, or this guy, I seen him, wow, he's doing great things, and to be that role model, to be that role model for them to strive to be even better than me or succeed more, so much so than I have. So for me, that's what it is to me, because I didn't have anybody in my family that that I know of that had an entrepreneur spirit that really, that could one show me the ropes.
Right.
So even with the book, it was like now I have something that, no matter what type of business you have, you will be set up correctly to where, again, if this happened again or some type of pandemic happened again, if some assistance is there for you because your business set up right, you can go get that versus you having to close your business down. So for me, it's just being that role model to show people who look like me that, hey, I can do it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What would you say has been your greatest accomplishment so far?
My greatest accomplishment is my book.
I
My
know that's
greatest
right.
accomplishment is my book. It's definitely my book. I know it's new and recent, but to accomplish that is something.
Yeah.
It's I'm still, like I said, it's still surreal. Like, wow, I completed that. I completed that, and I'm helping so many people. My goal, people's like, well, how many books you want to sell? I'm just like, if I can help one person, if I can literally help one person, that's my goal. but I know I've superseded that. I've superseded so many people. The reviews on Amazon and people inboxing it's like, man, I'm so glad you wrote this book. I needed this, and man, you know, I'm going to strive to be in this magazine or be in that publication. I mean, it's there, so it's amazing. So my book is definitely yes.
Yes, because one thing that we always preach about on this podcast and on all of my platforms, I'm very into just connecting with us and our connectivity as a people. We need to be like, our togetherness is how we will succeed. And it's great to see one person rise. That's beautiful. We are so proud of you. But it's like, if we just keep being on the individual side of things, we're not going to grow. We're not going to evolve. We're not going to ascend as a people. So I love just that spirit that you have of Sankofa, like literally, go and grab those as you rise, bring them up with you.
Yes.
And I think that's so important as a Black entrepreneur, because like I said, you literally could have just, went on and kept winning awards and kept doing these things. But it's like knowing that the wealth of knowledge that you have is going to truly make an impact. Just you as who you are, and that representation alone can truly, it's powerful. It's revolutionary. It changes things.
Each one teacher. Yes.
Like absolutely. I'm just super excited to, for one, get your information out to the listeners so they can purchase the book, so they can check it out. And tell us what can we look forward to, say in the next. Well, it's kind of weird, right, to plan for the next 5 years in the middle of a pandemic. Because what I would love to see is like you being able to do live classes and seminars and things. But
that's the goal. That's definitely a goal. I actually had a client come in probably, I think it was the same week the book launched. The book launched on my mom's birthday. That was my birthday present to her. It's been 6 years that she's been gone. And that was my birthday present to her, even though she's gone. But I was like, I'm this close to her birthday. So I said, I'm going to release it on her birthday. She was one of my supporters. And so I released it on her birthday. And she came in probably that Friday. And she was like, you know what? I see you doing this conference, having this and having that person. Okay, I said, so you can't tell me something like that, because I'm not one of those people that was like, oh, okay, well, they said that or whatever. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I do see myself doing that. I want to do it. I thought about maybe even doing it virtually, but it's nothing like in person. It's nothing like in person, but understanding of having group things going on with COVID. So it's definitely hard, but it's definitely on my agenda to do. Hopefully I'm able to do it. Even if it's a year from now, it's still on my agenda to do. So that's definitely something holding, live classes, conferences, possibly a school.
Absolutely.
Possibly a school. So that's definitely, my future goals. And hopefully it will, just like 8 years went by and I saw myself doing that. Hopefully in the next 5 years, that'll definitely be fruition of coming to life.
Yes. That's why I always like to ask people that, because it's like, I want them to be able to look back and be like, I remember I did that podcast with that loud girl that was hollering the whole time, and she asked me what I was gonna do, and look at me doing it. Like I always ask people that, because I do that for myself as well. Like, you have to speak those things, and I can already see it for you. I'm excited. Let me come on over to Mississippi, honey. Come see my Mississippi
cousins. Come on, cousin.
I love it. I love it. I have definitely enjoyed your energy and just love hearing your story and just your beautiful journey, and your kind heart to just want to just give back and just help us all rise. I love that. Before I let you go, I always ask everybody, because I'm such, as you can see, I love music. I love music. I love books. I love all of that. So I always ask everybody, what's your like either go-to song or your favorite like quote, or what's that, just a favorite book or whatever it is that kind of just, when you having those low moments and you kind of get down, what's that like one song or quote or book or something, or movie or TV show, or what's your thing when you feeling low?
Wow. I have something, but I have when you say a movie, I was like, oh, I do have that one movie. What I had was Les Brown had this quote, and it says, "The greatest revenge is massive success."
Ooh.
And what the reason I chose that was because, like I said, when I had in kind of hard time when I became a massage therapist, but it seemed like it quadrupled when I became an esthetician. And like I said, doors were closed, nobody would hire me. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. You didn't hire me, and I don't believe in competition, but it was like, oh, we would hire him, all the things that, he's doing, while he could have did it here.
Right.
So for me, that quote, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
Beyonce say the best revenge is your paper. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. So,
That is
but
very true.
but growing up, one of my favorite movies was Sister Act. My
Classic.
favorite movies was Sister Act, and they're about to do 3. And I've said it for years. They hadn't called me yet, but I said it for years. I said I'm going to be in the next one. Whatever they call it, I'm going to be in it. And I'm just waiting, like, hey, y'all gonna call me. So
I'm looking forward to it, honestly, because I'm like, wouldn't it be so cute if they like bought Lauryn Hill back, and like Lauryn Hill's daughter was like in the thing or something? Like, I'm like, I don't know what they gonna do with it, but I'm gonna tune in either way. I'm there.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, I've had so many concepts in my head of like, they could have did this. Like, I could have took Whoopi's position, because I'm a musician too. So I play piano. So it's just like like she passed it down to me, and then I was having trouble, and so it was like so many concepts in my head of like what it could be. So I'm excited to see. I'm still waiting on my phone call though, but yeah.
I'll be like, hey, Whippy, don't forget to call my cousin. All right.
Yeah.
I love it. So Terrance, let everyone know where they can but first let everyone know where they can grab the book. I know you mentioned Amazon, but just let them know how they can find the book and where they can follow you and support everything you have going on.
So you can follow me on Instagram. I am _Terrance Bonner, Terrance with an A. The link for the book is on there as well, but you can go to my website, thebonnerinstitute.com. And the thing about it, if you purchase it from me, I can autograph it for you. So I can do that. So of course you can buy from Amazon, but if you purchase it from me, it'll come from me. I can autograph it for you. If you want to put in notes of, hey, you may buy 2 or 3 books, and you might write the name of the people that you want me to autograph it to. So That's the cool thing of buying it from me. I can autograph it for you. So right now,
that personal touch, yeah.
Yes, right now because there's 2 versions. I didn't mention it, but it is 2 versions. It is a black and white copy. Right now on my website is $19.99, and original price is $24.99. And the exclusive color copy, which the inside is all color. You're gonna see the outside, but the inside is all color. And it is $24.99 right now on my website. So
okay, y'all go ahead and get the color copy, because it's workbook pages in there, so you can just go ahead and get the color.
Yep. Yes. So
I love it. And I'll definitely make sure that I, of course, put all of this in the show notes, and we'll tag you in everything, because we definitely want to make sure that we send you all that Conscious Kingdom Freedom Podcast family love. We are so thankful to have you here with us, Terrance. Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all, this is the energy we are taking into 2021. Challenge yourself to be better and put in the work so that you can achieve the goals. And the beauty is, you don't have to get it out the mud. You ain't got to start from scratch. You have family. You have people that look like you, that are doing the things you desire, that are giving the knowledge to help you. White people do this all the time. It is time for us to disseminate information to empower each other. And you can start right now by going to Terrance Instagram page and cop in this book so you can start with your core values and tell you everything that you need to start your business and get this bag in 2021, baby.
Yeah.
We are doing it. It's a new year. We listen, we in the middle of the panorama and we gonna get to this money, all right? But not just get to this money, really live in your purpose and fulfill your dreams.
Yes.
Stop selling yourself short. Don't get disturbed. Don't get discouraged if you fall or if you fail. This man went from KFC to ABC. You can do it, baby.
That's it. And I also, one last thing I want to point out: the first time I took my massage therapy license exam, I failed it. And I always like to point that out because, like you said, people see the glitz and the glam, like, oh, he's been there. But I failed, but I picked myself back up and I kept going. So no matter what nobody says, nobody, if they don't believe in the dream that you have, it's your dream. God gave it to you, not them. So they won't see it. So, but keep going.
Yes, keep going. That's the energy we on. Keep going. We're gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Make sure y'all come around grandmama and them house next week because we're gonna have another dope cousin to kick it and vibe with. Like I say each and every week, live life conscious, conscious of who you are, conscious of who you want to be conscious of the frequency that you're giving out because raising your frequency will get you to your freedom. And it's all about liberation, y'all. Thank you so much, cousin. And we
Thank you.
out. Thank y'all. Peace.